Hey, what's up there, everybody? Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. But anyway, I wanted to come and do a video about Joe Budden, who's a former rapper. He is now a podcaster, and he's on this season of Love and Hip Hop. He's been on there before. Tahiry and San Santana. Tahiry is his ex, who I personally believe he was in love with, had a great connection with, but they were young, and there was a lot of other influences in the mix, such as Joe Budden's drug abuse, which he has spoken out about publicly, and things of that sort. So I believe that that's what caused for the relationship not to work out that much, but it's evident that their love and connection is like no other. Santana is a new woman that he's with, and she's a younger woman. I want to speak on this because on the show they are kind of addressing his interaction and relationship with Tahiry versus San Santana, and I want to give my thoughts and opinions about it. I think that Tahiry is basically the woman who got away, the woman who he was deeply in love with, and will never be able to replace. I think that San Santana was just his somewhat like, just a rebound. You moving on, and he looked at it like, okay, here go this young, attractive woman, because Joe Budden is known for dating women who are attractive. So I think that he looked at that as a plus, and as him being a man that he's not old, but he's in his 40s. He's a mature, seasoned man. I think that, he was like, okay, here this young, hot woman, we interact, we have fun, and it was a good look to him. But I think as his career progressed, and I believe that age difference really starts showing up, and he realized it's bigger than what he initially thought it was. I personally think that he realized their priorities aren't in the same place. Her immaturity level is too much, and he's over it. I think that he's over the fun party girl, because a lot of men do that. They want to hook up with the fun party girl, and then when it comes to real life, of them being mature in age and trying to build and grow something, they realize like, okay, well, this party girl really does not fit into me building a legacy, or me actually building a family unit with them. So I know that Sin has stated that she wants her family and things of that sort, but Sin is young. Sin still wants to go out, run the streets. Sin is in her prime as far as sex and stuff like that, where Joe Budden, he's been there and he's done all of that. With him working hard, running all these businesses, because he has his podcast, which he does twice a week, which I love the podcast. I am a faithful listener since it pretty much started. But he also is on State of the Culture, which I love. I watch that as well. He was on Everyday Struggle. A lot of people came on to know him from Everyday Struggle. What's the other things? I believe it's one other one. Oh, and pull up, and he does pull-ups. So I think with him having to travel and do all this business, when he gets home, right, he's giving love and attention to his child, but he's tired, more relaxed. And I think he's starting to look at Sin as being another child, because they addressed that in the household. She really isn't. A woman normally runs and takes care of the household while her husband or man is out at work. And from what they've shown on the show, he is the one who's still coming home and running the household. And I think he looks at her as an extra child as far as her behavior. Like, okay, this is something else that I have to give, this medium that I have to give attention to, versus this is the person I come into, they my partner, and they taking care of this end of things. That's not what he found in her, and I think that it began to get to him. It began to get to her, and the relationship just isn't working. I believe Tahiry is perfect for him. She's around. She's, as far as age, she's there. As far as understanding him, knowing and have lived so much, lived some life, she's more qualified and on his level, mentally, emotionally, physically, and she already knows him and been there, done that. And she also has her own things going on. I don't know if y'all checked into Tahiry's background, but Tahiry isn't like just a magazine model anymore. She is doing things to build wealth and a steady foundation for herself, the same as Joe. So I think that they complemented each other well before, but where they're at in life right now, they still complement each other very well. And to meet him in San Santana, I do not see it. She's not a horrible girl. I'm not saying that, but I just don't think she's the right match for him. she needs to go ahead and be with someone younger who has the same priorities and the same lifestyle as her. Santana has dated other men in the industry, so she somewhat is. Actually, all of them, now that I thought about it, is like nasty and jump offs and pass around. From the men to the women, because even if you just look at Love and Hip Hop as itself, they swap boyfriends and girlfriends all the time, and just in the entertainment industry in general, they do it. So, judging off that, I think Sin is somewhat a groupie, has a groupie mentality as far as her dating habits in the industry. Sorry, y'all, I'm sleepy as heck. It is, I think, like 2 in the morning. I'm tired. But anyway, she just comes off as that type of woman to me. And then, of course, we know she wants her own singing career. So I think that she looked at Joe as like, okay, well, I mess with all these other rappers or men that's in the spotlight industry. It didn't get me nowhere. All it did was just get me, laid on my back. Where here's Joe, someone who's in the industry, and he's willing to actually be with me. So I think that she wanted a family or a happy ending with anyone who she deemed successful in that realm. It didn't necessarily have to be Joe. So even though she's crying to my she with her family and all that, I totally don't believe all of that, to be honest. I think Joe just met the requirements of what she was looking for and wanted, and he was the only one willing to give it to her. But anyway, so we know that she wants to have her own little career. So part of me also feels like, okay, well, she secured a form of income, not just only through child support, but being on the TV show, getting recognition. I do believe that it's probably a lot of younger men who probably are in her inbox, and she's thinking like, well, you know what? The grass is growing on the other side. Joe isn't meeting or fulfilling my needs of wanting to be hanging out on the street or wanting to be getting banged out and stuff like that. So I think she is just using whatever excuse it is as her escape route to get away from him, since he has fulfilled her purpose. And she has accomplished getting the album out, getting on TV, and securing her bag through child support. And she's like, oh, okay, well, now I can go back and thought box it with these other men in the industry. And then part of me was thinking, like, okay, I think that she probably went and did that over summer, had her stuff for Hot Girl Summer, and she went back to the situation she was in from the get-go, which was none of these guys are willing to wife me or actually be with me. So that might be a reason why she might have tad bit want to get back with Joe Budden. But I think Joe Budden is looking at it for what it is and realize, like, no, I really don't think that this is necessarily going to work. Now, could they both be playing games using this as a storyline? Yes, but that still doesn't negate the fact that I do believe that his true heart and feelings was with Tahiry, and that is the one who got away. I do believe that he is settling for Santana, and I do think that Santana is somewhat a groupie using him. That's it. That's all I wanted to say about that. But I cannot wait to see tomorrow's episode. I am following and watching the show because I'm a fan of Joe Budden. So wherever he goes, I pretty much, go and support it and watch it. He's a very entertaining and interesting person. And a lot of people give him a lot of smoke and a lot of heat. And I kind of really don't understand why. Like, y'all need to chill on hating and trying to drag Joe Budden. I mean, I know that might seem like the cool thing to do, but Joe is actually a pretty entertaining and mature and enlightened and fun and funny person. Everyone has their flaws. But that's all. Peace.